ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون.
Be in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take this as a general rule, and if your handwriting is good, okay, hang it on your wall. Whatever you love and you are attached to will be on your mind in the prayer. What was on your mind when you prayed Asr today? People who are usually in business and trade, they mainly think about their business. If a guy is in love or a girl is in love, they would be thinking about the person they love. If someone loves their job so much, or their field of study so much, they would be thinking about that. So what you mainly think about in the prayer, okay, that's your ultimate love. Truly, your ultimate love. So if it's not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you need to recheck your heart. That's the good point. You need to be in love in order to have khushu' and salah. So you need to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the challenge. How do we love Allah? How do we love Allah? Okay, let me tell you about, there's a person, his name is Walid. Walid. He lives in Jordan, my country. Walid lives in an area called Jabal al-Nasr. Okay, it's like a hilly area, they call it Jabal al-Nasr. Okay? Let me ask you a question. Out of the blue, do you love Walid? Do you hate Walid? Why don't you love Walid? But I do. You see, how do you expect yourself to love someone you don't know? How do you expect to love someone you don't know? If you don't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how do you think you will love Him? You might think you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but is this the case? Is this the case? We said, going back to the lover's analogy, very, very practical by the way. Okay, do you think someone, and there's an interesting thing, it's like an upward spiral. When you love someone, okay, you become motivated to learn more about them. The more you learn about them, the more you love them. The more you love them, the more you are curious to know more about them. It's an upward spiral. That's exactly the case with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's exactly the case. How do you expect to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without knowing Him? A lot of us think, no, let me put this to the test. How do you think we can know Allah? Now let's say, okay, one day you decided, I want to know more about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's the first thing that goes through your mind? The most common answer that I got when I asked this question was, learn the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah? Which is a good idea, but who has read the 99 names of Allah? Not necessarily all of them. The majority of them were familiar with them. But how much did you learn from them? You know, when you take the names and attributes of Allah out of their context, you can hardly get anything from them. And that's why some people say, okay, let's teach the names and attributes of Allah. Let's teach the names of Allah. That's the 90 names of Allah. This course is about the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, they take a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahim. They start explaining it. They try to put some context to it. But most of the time it doesn't work. Most of the time it doesn't work. And that's the difficulty in teaching the names and attributes of Allah. Not the rules pertaining to them, but their meanings and their implications. You cannot. You need to teach these names in real life situations. Let's say someone is in trouble. You start helping them, okay, go through their problem and linking everything you do towards the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only then your heart will start be connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only then. Okay? Reading through the Quran is a good experience, but most of us don't do enough contemplation, so this is why we don't get enough. Reading through the world, most of us do it, but we don't do it the right way. Yeah, we start, instead of saying, okay, linking everything or tracing everything back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of doing that, okay, we get taken by the beauty of the creation of Allah and we stop halfway. We don't carry on.